I was talking my head off and my microphone was not on. Forgive me. I was checking everything, trying to worry about this light, and I forgot to turn my mic on. So, rewind. Hi everyone, it's Sophia Melonē, the Debt Demolisher, here to bring you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you manage your financial baggage the right way. I am super excited to be here with you guys, and I want to welcome you all to the nighttime live stream. You guys know that I wanted to make sure that I went live before we got into the space of seeing the finale of titles on Tony Gaskin's page. So the finale is tonight. At least that's what I saw based on the reminder thing that I hit. So it's 9 o'clock tonight. It said finale, episode 5. So we're gonna check that out at 9 o'clock. So I'm gonna make sure that we done by 9 o'clock. Okay. All right, let me make sure I got my clock here so that I can watch the time. But yes, so what I was saying is that I really wanted to be able to talk to you guys about really just thinking twice, or not really thinking twice, but just verifying and validating some things before you kind of believe what you hear. I know sometimes we can get into the space of just wanting to be able to learn as much, wanting to be able to get new insight, looking for information, or maybe even sometimes we may not be looking for information and we may just come across it. And if we come across it, we may take it at face value and believe it for what we hear or what we heard. And one of the things, and the reason, okay, let me start here. So one of my intentions for this year is to support other content creators. And when I say support other content creators, I mean intentionally watching their videos, listening to them, just seeing what they're talking about, showing them support, reading, listening to their comments, or reading their comments, or listening to what they have to say, just kind of following on to show that level of support. Because here's what I know and what I understand is that you can't expect to receive what you aren't willing to give. So if I'm not willing to partake my time to watch the videos of other content creators, to give meaningful insight or encouragement or support to other content creators, how can I expect the same to happen for me? Not saying that I'm doing this in exchange, but I'm doing it in a way where I just wanted to be able to support other content creators, because I know what the feeling feels like to get that support, especially when you're in that space where you're just starting out, or sometimes you may feel like you're not, you may feel like you're doing it for nothing, like how I felt. Like how I felt 4 years coming into this thing. So, but I was listening to a channel today, and it was later on today. So it was later on today because I had kind of like a busy day, and I was in a training and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, I was listening to this video today, and I was listening to the video, and I was like, okay, let me see what they're talking about. So I'm listening to it, and then I caught something that they said that I was like, that's not true. But the thing that was so funny was that they said it with such confidence, like it was facts. And then they also had like the verbiage on the screen, and like, you know how you do the quotes and all that kind of stuff. They had theatrics like popped up on the screen, and it just had all of the stuff saying that this was this and this was that. And I was like, that's not true. But it had me thinking, the way that it was said, the way that it was presented, it seemed like a very accurate statement. And what can sometimes sound like a very accurate statement could be taken as truth to someone who does not know, as opposed to someone who may be privy or have access to that knowledge to know, to say, okay, wait, maybe they kind of got their verbiage mixed up. Now, I'm not going to say that this isn't something that I've done before, because I even notice sometimes, because y'all know I watch my own videos. Y'all know I be that one view. Y'all already know. So even sometimes when I go back and I watch some of my old videos, I'd be like, oh, I misspoke on that, because sometimes stuff can fly through my head so fast that I'm thinking and I'm processing and it's coming out at the same time, but it may not come out the same way that I know that the information should be. So sometimes I do know that it could slip up, but the reason how I knew that this wasn't a slip up was because they had the theatrics on the screen that matched what the person said. So if if it was not true and it could have been said out of mistake, like even in some instances where I do sometimes, the fact that it had edited stuff on the screen to support it showed me that somebody didn't somebody didn't verify fully before they said what they said. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I know that we are all consumers of content, because I know if you're watching this channel, that means you want to learn, that means you want to grow, that means you want to be able to get new insights so that you can apply it to your life to not only better your life, but to grow your life, to enhance your life. And sometimes when we hear these things, it could be inaccurate. I'm going to give you guys another prime example. So I have social media accounts, but I'm not on there. I'm not on there. I'm not active. The only place where I'm active is here on YouTube. And that was because y'all know the period that I went through. I kind of fell off the face of the earth. I went through this withdrawal state, and it took me a while to kind of bounce back. But I didn't really feel, I just felt like I needed to take a break from the main social media platforms. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I took a break from those, and I just haven't really gone back. I probably checked it like once in a while, like if I had to go on there to look for something, or if I was in a program and the program hosted a lot of the stuff inside of a Facebook group or something, then I would hop on it for that. But other than that, I haven't been on there. Like if y'all go to my Instagram page, or if you go to my Facebook page, you probably see that the last post was, I don't know how long. I think the last post I did on my Instagram was when the channel hit 1,000, because I was just so excited. So when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I think I did do like the celebration video and put it on Instagram and tag Tony, because I was just so excited about it. But other than that, you probably won't see me doing too much. And then I did start another Instagram page just for the Debt Demolisher TV. But I don't really go on there. I really don't check it. I mean, when God pulls me back to it, I'll go back to it. But nonetheless, I'm sharing this because we can be in that space of just grasping content and just wanting to take it. And because I'm not on social media as much, people do sometimes send me stuff. And so I'm going to give you an example. Chef Joe, he is always like sending me stuff from TikTok though. So he'll send me the TikTok link and say, hey, do you know about this? Hey, have you heard this? Hey, have you heard that? And I'll listen to it, and then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh, well, that's not true. Well, I don't know. It's just funny, like how sometimes we take so much information for truth because somebody is saying it. And I'm not just saying this even for me. Like, I want you guys to verify the stuff that I say too. I want us to get into a practice of not just taking what we hear, but utilizing a practice of verifying what it is that we heard. So I think in one of the lives, probably the other night or maybe the night before, I had mentioned that the auditor in me causes me to verify. So I want the authoritative source. I don't want a news article that's saying something. Hey, Acacia, I see Acacia's in the building. Oh, hold on. I didn't see all of these. I'm sorry, you guys. I saw Acacia say no sound, and that's when I realized my mic wasn't on. Q Scott saying happy Wednesday. Hey, Q Scott's in the building. Being Me TV is in the building. No sound. Thank you. Saying I'm good now. Thank you. All right, we're good. Now start over, which I did. Q Scott is laughing. Acacia is saying hello. Divinity is in the building. Divinity, I ain't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Hello. Q Scott is saying, yes, it's tonight. Yes, titles, finale. Lisa H is in the building. Hey, Lisa H saying good night, Queen. Kiki is in the building. Hey, Kiki, saying loud and wrong. Oh, yeah, they be loud and wrong sometimes. Loud and wrong sometimes. Q Scott saying speaking false info with conviction can really hurt someone. Come on and tell the truth. Come on and tell the truth. Lisa Smiles is in the building saying happy Wednesday, DDTV Tribe. I know, Lisa, I need to catch up on your videos because I think I saw that you dropped one, but I didn't have a chance to watch it. So I'm going to make sure I watch it tonight. After titles. After titles. I'm gonna catch up after titles. And I need to catch up on Tony's videos too. I think it's one more that I need to catch up on. Oh, and speaking of that, Lisa, now because I watched the spirit of seduction video that Tony dropped. And now I realize what you was talking about yesterday when you put that in the comment. I was like, oh, Lisa was talking about that. Because I listened to the video. Okay, so I got it now. It clicked. It clicked. But nonetheless, Keisha saying greetings. And Q Scott is saying, hey, ladies. Divinity is saying, happy to be in your presence. I'm so happy to be in y'all's presence. Come on, somebody. And Q Scott is saying, sounds like what my pastor says. Don't just take what I say about the Bible as truth. You must verify it for yourself. Come on, don't make me get up and shout. You got to trust, but verify. You got to validate. You got to validate because sometimes people can misspeak. And I want to say this too, from a content creation standpoint, because even like and I'm not going to name the channel or anything because I don't want to seem like I'm talking about them, but they give a lot of information. They give a lot of valuable information topics, especially around this season that we're entering in. And it's helpful. And sometimes, I listen to it, I support, and, sometimes I even get some ideas from it. But it's just like what I was saying, how somebody can really take that information and run with it if they didn't know it's true and they repeat it. Because oftentimes people take something what somebody says, they take a video that somebody says and they share it and they count it as truth. And they say, oh, well, this is happening. This is happening. To me, in my eyes, when it comes to the law, when it comes to taxes, when it comes to anything that is mandated by an authoritative source, I want to read it from the source's page. Like, I don't go to the news outlets. I don't go to any of that. I want to hear it from the authoritative sources. So now that we're in the season of tax, and there's a lot of conversation that's coming up. There's a lot of topics that's coming up. There's a lot of videos that's coming up. And people are saying things probably even sometimes because they heard somebody else say it. And then they decide that they're going to do a video to talk about it without even checking or fact checking the truth. So even when I think about this example, I was like, that's not true. But then even I said, well, maybe something changed, because I don't act like I know it all. But the first thing that I do is I go and I check the source. I'm like, okay, well, let me go to this website and let me go to this website. And because I'm privy to the information and because I know about the field, I know where to go to verify it. And so when I went, I looked at it, I was like, it say clear as day. It says clear as day that this is the dates, or this is this, or this is that. So I screenshotted it, and I may end up doing a post or something about it. And I started to do a comment to clarify, but then I was like, well, I don't want to, I don't want to step on nobody's toes or, nonetheless. But I just want to share this because I want you guys to be very careful about what information you take up and that you run with. So always be in a space of thinking, how can I verify this? What would be the source? So the source would be the subject matter or the noun, the person, place, or thing that is being referenced in that conversation. So how do you go and find it? You have to backtrack. So if someone says that, what could be an example? What could be an example? Maybe I can use like a Bible verse as an example. So some prime example. So if someone tells you, and this is something that gets misconstrued a lot of times, even in the word, where they say, money is the root of all evil. And they say that comes from the Bible. But if you look at the word, it says the love of money is the root of evil. So if someone just says money is the root of evil, they're going to take it as money in general is the root of evil. They're going to take it as if I have money, it is evil. They're going to take it as I'm not supposed to have money because it is evil. But missing just 2 words prior to that ending statement can take somebody way off course. The love of money, i.e., the lust, the yearning, the eagerness of money is what can be the root of all evil, because it leads to greed, because it leads to selfishness, because it leads to self-serving, it leads to crime. Because greed leads to crime. Greed leads to, dishonesty, acting out of integrity. Y'all know the whole Enron scandal. I know Lisa Smiles know it because she went to school for accounting, so she know that's what we had to study. We had to study those cases and stuff. So, you know the Enron scandal and how that happened and how they were fudging the numbers so that they can get more investments from people buying their stocks and buying this and buying that to invest in a company that was actually failing. So that love and that root of greed, the embezzlement with the what was the accounting firm? Arthur Anderson. I think it was Arthur Anderson. It's been so long, y'all. I've been out of school for over 15 years, so sorry. But I think it was Arthur Anderson. And that whole firm and how they were fudging stuff and being paid, it was a whole thing that was going on. So it's the love of. So the very, very little mistalk, and that's the same thing of what I saw today. There was just a little mix-up. It was a little mix-up where they said that this particular agency is going to be closed on this day, and that is why the tax date is being moved. And as soon as they said that, I said, no, that's not true. That's not true. Not that one, but this one is going to be closed. So that's why the date is moved, because the dates have to be aligned. And it was just funny, but just how confident that they sounded. And this is something too that I really want you guys to think about, even as you navigate through your days, and even as you are in conversations with people, and even as you are learning, engaging from people. Their confidence can make stuff sound so true. Their confidence can make stuff sound so true. Salesmen, so even sometimes your managers, people, your superiors, your leaders, those who work above you, they say things in a way to sell it, to allow you to believe it, so that you can do whatever it is that they want you to do, whatever their agenda is, regardless if the agenda is good or bad. At the end of the day, everybody has some type of motive. They have some type of agenda. They have some type of purpose that they are trying to serve. And this is why they always say that confidence is what will really elevate you a lot of times. Because if people believe what you say, they're going to rally behind you, and then that word is just going to go and go and go and go and go until it gets to someone who could do the fact checking. So let me see some of these other comments, see what else y'all got going on. Y'all have any questions so far? All right. Lisa said, yes, that's what I was talking about. Okay. So yeah, it must be the spirit of seduction video that Tony was talking about. Yeah, because I didn't catch it until I watched it. I was like, oh, that's what Lisa was talking about. All right, so Divinity says, yes, we have to do the research. Yes, you got to do the research. You got to check on your own. Acacia is saying, preach so. Being Me TV is saying, yep. Q Scott is saying, oh my God, I didn't know we were talking about the same issue. Which same issue? What? Whoops, which same issue? I don't know. Sorry, y'all. Okay, Q Scott, I don't know which same issue you're talking about. But yes, so I want to challenge you guys to trust but verify. Even when it comes to me. Because sometimes, like I said, I have so much thoughts going on in my head and something can come out and it can come out wrong. And there's been times where I've replayed my videos and watched them and I was like, ooh, I did not mean to say that. I meant to say this. But sometimes when you're thinking and you're going and the words just come out. So just trusting but verifying. So how can you go through your process of verifying? So right now we're in a season of tax. So when we're in a season of tax, Q Scott is saying I posted it prior to you saying it's above. No worries. Okay. All right, got it. And then Lisa H is saying sometimes those spirits try to purposely mislead you. Yeah, they try to purposely mislead you to, like I said, get you to do something that they want you to do. They have their own hidden agendas, or sometimes they may just want to send you down into a spiral. They may just want to go viral. Like all of the people who were going viral on TikTok that was talking about the whole Cash App Venmo thing about the IRS is trying to tax your money and all of that. And I'm like, do you even read do you even read what the law says? First of all, you got to have a business account for that to even apply. So if they're not going to issue you a 1099, if your account isn't set up in a way for Cash App or Venmo or whatever to issue you a 1099, then you're not going to get that. As far as I'm concerned, this is as far as I know. But yeah, so a lot of times people misspeak. And so the video that I got where they were talking about that, I was just like, that's not true. And then I went and found the source, screenshot it, and said, here you go. What does that say? What does that say? So, and that's what can really get people hemmed up or trimmed up or get them all in a frenzy. And this whole incorrect conversation is going viral instead of the things that are good and the things that are true that should be spread does not get spread. A lot of times they say things to cause people to get into that frenzy so that the media can, go through its phases of doing whatever its phases is. So I wanted to share that and just remind you guys to be very, very mindful about the information that you receive and the sources in which you get that information, especially when it comes to tax law, because tax law changes. So even when I'm doing my videos, I'm going to make sure that I make the statement that, as of this date, or I'll even try to pull it up and show you guys so that you can see it verbatim, or that way so that I'm not misspeaking. Or if I'm talking like off the top of my head like I am now and my internet is not working, so I can't like do screen share or anything to kind of pull stuff up, then I'll make the statement or the disclaimer that if I misspeak, forgive me, whatever, because my brain is just like all the stuff and it just could come out and my words can get flipped because I'm thinking one thing, but then I say another. So I'm going to make sure that I'm being careful about what I say out of my mouth that I put on this platform. So not only did this process or this conversation around me listening to this content creator and then realizing like, oh, they misspoke, it caused me to question myself, right? The self-awareness, question myself to say, well, when have I misspoke? Which I know that I've done because I've caught it before. And giving myself the space and the grace to say, okay, well, how can I not be a contributing factor to this misinformation, even if it is by accident? So when I am assessing something for purpose, or when I'm looking at something, or if I have a comment about something, before I go off or say like, oh, this is wrong, this is incorrect, like I could have, but I wouldn't do that. But I was gonna write it in a way where, oh well, actually it's da 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 da. But I was just like, let me just leave it alone and let me focus on what I can do to make sure that I'm not contributing to any misinformation. So verify whatever you hear. Check the sources, the authoritative sources. So if there's any tax related stuff that's coming out right now, you want to check against the IRS's website, because the IRS's website is a lot more easier to read as opposed to actually going to the tax code. Because if you go to the tax code, that's a whole nother conversation. The same way with credit. There's a lot of loopholes and things that you can do with clearing up your credit, cleaning up your credit, but you have to be able to get down into the weeds to see that. And sometimes the blog sites, or sometimes these generic websites, or like Forbes or Balance or Medium, sometimes they have different articles talking about ways to fix your credit and stuff like that. But and again, it could be valid, but these are journalists. These are journalists, and we don't know the level of research or the verification that they're doing to ensure that whatever they're saying in that blog post or in that article is accurate. So I always go to the source. And then if I know that the source for credit, if I know that the source for taxes is based on federal law, then I'm going to take my tail over to the governing agency that is responsible for overseeing that site or overseeing that topic. So if that means the Federal Trade Commission, if that means actually looking up the Fair Credit, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if that means actually going to the tax code, which I don't mind doing that because that's kind of what I used to do when I was a tax auditor. So I don't have a problem with looking at the law and just verifying stuff and making sure that whatever they're claiming is legit. And the same thing on the credit side. It's a matter of reading the law for yourself, reading the authoritative sources for yourself, so that you can make sure that whatever you're gaining, whatever insight you're getting, whatever information you're gathering, that before you go and tell someone else about it, or before you jump and try to act on it, that it's actually a valid move for you to do. I just saw something pop up. Let's see. All right. Okay, Coach Letitia's in the building saying, hey, Sophia and DDTV fam. Hey, Coach. So good to see ya. So good to see ya. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we are just about done. The only thing that I wanted to also share with you all is to give you guys a little encouragement. So I was telling you guys about my calendar that I keep on my desk. And today is, of course, January the 12th. And today's message is, to be the best, you must be able to handle the worst. To be the best, you must be able to handle the worst. So sometimes we may be going through a season in our life where we may feel like this is like the worst situation. And so like how I felt last year, I feel like 2021 was the hardest year of my life. Y'all hear me? I don't have to keep saying it over and over. But I felt like 2021 was the hardest year of my life. I didn't think that I was going to make it through. And it turned out ending being the best year of my life, or the best, 4 months, 4 months, because of the awakening that I was able to receive spiritually, the level of confirmation that I was able to receive, the amount of unexpected blessings that I was able to receive. And I look at this message today and thinking about how when you're in your worst times, when you are in your worst seasons, when you are experiencing the worst pain, when you are feeling like you're going through the worst suffering, that is when you know that you're on your way to your next best thing. So if you give up when you're going through your worst, when you give up when you're going through your downfall, when you give up, when you're going through the space where you just don't want to do life anymore. You're going to miss out on your best thing. So if you want to be the best version of yourself, if you want to live the best life that you want to live, when you're in your seasons of your worst, just keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. So that's my encouragement to you guys on tonight. Be the best despite what you may be going through. Get to your best despite what you may be going through. Learn and grow despite what you may be going through. And I want to tell you guys about this training that I was in today. And this is another seed of confirmation that I received from the Lord. Because the training that I was in today was administered by a doctor, so someone with a PhD. It was administered by someone who was a clinical licensed therapist. It was administered by someone who really knew her stuff. Like she was really good. She was really good. And when she was going through her presentation today, it was just like all of the stuff was running through my head. Like that's the same thing I say, or that's the same thing that I say, or that's the same thing that I teach. That's the same thing that I'm talking about. And I'm sharing it. And as she was going through the presentation, I just kept saying, I said, well, I'm not even a licensed social worker. I've never sat in a social worker class, a therapist class, a counselor's class, none of that. But the techniques and the things that she's sharing in her presentation, I already do. And I already teach. So the first thing that came up to me was, well, wow, should I be a financial therapist? That was the first thing that came up for me. And then the second thing that came up for me was that I don't need academic validation like what we were talking about last night. I don't need academic validation to solidify the gift that I have, because the gift that I have is innate. The gift that I have is a level of anointing. So, and that's how I see it. If I'm able to share something in a way, say something in a way, teach something in a way that is almost pretty much identical to something that a person who earned a doctorate degree, has therapist clinical licenses, and has gone through all of the schooling and training to do, that just kind of showed me that if you are anointed with it, then you are appointed with it. And you don't necessarily need anything else to substantiate or to validate that fact, because it's just your gift. And I remember when I first started, because y'all, I'm an accountant, okay? Let me just be clear. I am an accountant. I do numbers all day. I analyze data all day. That's what I do. And when I started my debt freedom journey and people started to ask me, oh, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you show me? I'm like, sure. All you got to do is just do this, do this, do this. But then I realized as I started to talk to people, I was like, oh, this is like another level of stuff. But I didn't really see it that way. I was just asking them questions to help them get to the root. I was just asking them questions based on what they said. And it would turn into this thing where we would just end up going deeper and deeper and deeper. And by the time we finished talking, they would say, I feel like I need to pay you for a therapy session. And mind you, I wasn't even charging for this stuff because I didn't turn it into a business yet. I was just helping people, whoever asked me to help them. So as we talk through stuff and, a lot of emotions will be coming up. They had all of these revelations. They realized, where their spending patterns came from. They realized why they spend the way that they spend. They started to get convictions and realizing that they needed to change their behaviors. And it didn't dawn on me until because I have been doing this since I started helping people in 2017 or 16. 2016, like July 2016, I started helping people. And then it wasn't until 2017 where I actually turned it into a business and I started the LLC and all of that. But I just remember as the traction started to grow and a lot of people wanted to have connection calls and stuff with me, and I would talk to people and they would say the same thing. Like, we would be on an intro call and they would say, I feel like I need to pay you for a therapy session. But we weren't going into this thing as a therapy. I was just asking questions so that I can, get clear on where you are and then why you're behaving the way that you're behaving. Not really tying it to the behavior, but tying it to the fact of how you manage your money and what the budgeting process should look like. So not knowing that this financial therapy thing was stuff that I was doing all along. And then realizing last year or the year before that there was a terminology for it. And then seeing that they had certifications and stuff for it. So I was like, okay, this is really something. And so this is why I'm into the counseling thing now. So I'm studying for accredited financial counselor certification right now. And I wanted to, no, not just wanted to. I was just kind of surprised, but also felt affirmed that I'm already doing what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And if I could just take my mind off of it being a test, because I do sometimes have test anxiety and just feel like, oh my gosh, am I gonna? But just trusting and knowing that I already know this stuff. Like, it's already in me. Like, I already know it. And even like when people say I can ask you anything and you can answer it, and not saying that I know everything, but for this personal finance stuff to be something that I haven't even studied, because I was studying corporate finance and accounting and this and all business kind of stuff, nothing personal related. And when I started my business, I created my programs. I custom create all of my curriculums. So I didn't have anyone teach me or show me how to design a curriculum for a program. I based it off of what I did and what made sense based on me answering questions or asking myself questions. So we got 30 minutes. All right, so we getting ready. What time is it? We got 30 minutes. So I'm going to come off soon so that way we can, because I got food on the stove anyway. Yeah, we got 20 minutes, so I'm getting ready to get off in 5. Okay, because I'm going to be 15 minutes early. What TG say? 15 minutes early. Okay, so, but that just kind of affirmed, like, I'm on the right track. So if I take my mind off of it being a test and being an exam and just treating it as this is what you do already. Treat it as if you're speaking with someone on the other line. Treat it as if someone is asking you your opinion or asking you what should they do, because that's the type of questions that I get all the time. People come to me for clarity. They say, hey, this and this and this and this and this and this and this. What should I do? And then I may ask a couple of questions and say, oh, okay, well, what's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? What's the answer to this? Based on their answers, I'll say, okay, well, you should probably do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you should do it in this order. And it just clicks. So I'm asking you guys for a little push and reminder, if you can, to encourage me along the way with this testing process and holding me accountable to the study schedule that I'm creating and just a little bit of encouragement. If it's a you can do it. Look, I just see you got it. You got it. Thank you. You got it. The other ladies may agree, but truly fill out the vet challenge was a prime example. Financial therapy and counseling. Ooh, ooh, Q Scott. That just gave me a whole chill down my spine. A whole chill down my spine. And I'm going to tell y'all this, and y'all not going to believe this. I'm going to tell y'all this, and then we going to go. But that vet your spending challenge, do y'all know that I created that thing in a day? Do y'all know that I created that thing in a day? And I'm going to tell y'all how I did it. I had a coach. I had a business coach. This was a couple years ago, because now I do the challenge every year now. But I had a coach a couple of years ago, and we were on a call. I think we were on one of our calls, and she challenged us to do a 30-day challenge on our social media platform. So Instagram, Facebook, just for engagement. And she was like, just pick them up, pick a topic, and just go live every day. No script, no nothing. Just go live every day, 30 days straight. No script. So I said, okay. So we were coming up in the month of November, because the month of November is the next month. So I was like, okay, well, what's the holiday in November? And I said, Veterans Day. And I said, well, let me use vet. And I said, oh, they can vet their spending for the holidays. So I just wrote vet your spending for the holidays as a title. And I just said, vet your spending challenge. And then I just started listing stuff, like 30 steps. I think that's all I did. I think I just said 30 steps, listed it out. And then, I think that was it. It was literally just the topics, 30 topics. And I went live every day, spoke off the cuff, did the exercises in real time with them. So I created this, but I was doing the work at the same time. And I didn't realize that it was going to turn out to be what it is. And so now I do it every year because it turns out to be good. And look, Q Scott just said it. Financial therapy and counseling in real time. Wow. Thank you. Acacia said you did a good job. Q Scott saying amen, Acacia. Saying wow. Yes. Lisa said wow, a day. That's your gift. Acacia saying with a hint of church sprinkle. with a sprinkle of church. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Lisa said I had to speak to my own therapist after some of those videos. What? I think you did say that. I think I do remember you talking about that in your video. I do remember you saying that when you was in the car. I remember. Acacia saying exactly, Hugh Scott. You got it, Sophia. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Exactly. Eat a big breakfast the morning of. Okay, I'm kind of going in backwards. All right. Q Scott says you absolutely should provide more than you realize within your financial info. BME TV says when going through hell, don't stop, keep going. Amen. Q Scott saying the best is next. Amen. It is. That is. All right. That's tribe about not giving up. Good. All right, you guys. Let me see where we at, because I got to get inside of that room. Let's see. It's 8:45. All right, y'all know I got to go. Lisa is saying, when is your test again? So I haven't scheduled it yet. So I want to get my study plan together first so that I can time the test at a good time. And then I just found out that it's going to get really, really hectic in my job. So I got to figure out how to balance all of that now with these changes that's coming. So, but I'm operating by faith. I'm going to get through this test and I'm going to pass it and I'm going to be able to study. Divinity is saying, no doubt you are chosen by God. Thank you for your encouraging words. Oh, thank you so much, Divinity. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for using me as a vessel. All right. Are y'all ready to get on over so that we can watch titles? I know we got another 15 minutes, but I'm finna go on over there right now. What sounds like a class to me? Sounds like a class to me. I'm not sure, Acacia. But we can talk offline. I ain't gonna keep y'all because I'm gonna give y'all a break so that we can get up in the titles room. All right, you guys, you already know Remember that your financial prosperity awaits you, and so does your financial sanity. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next episode or the next live stream. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I love you guys so much. All right, y'all know what to do. Get to work. Bye. Oh, that's good. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melonē. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melonē. The Debt Demolisher TV with Sophia Melonē. Hey, 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 let's go.